permanent state of being.
Yeah, it's just existential. You just dislike everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. Okay, we are officially live, by the way.
Oh right, okay. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for telling me what I. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going live on a kind of depressing note, but that's okay.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's what we do here sometimes. Oh boy. Okay.
I do have a bit of a dilemma at the minute while we're waiting for everyone to arrive. The dilemma I have right now is that I have $250 of eBay voucher to spend, and I don't usually shop on eBay, so I'm trying to find something on eBay to spend that money on, and I can't find anything I want or need.
eBay, huh?
I'm looking at Lego Technic now.
Legos? Nah, get like a cheap macro lens for your camera.
Maybe.
Get equipment. Just get equipment.
Equipment.
Right. Invest. Invest it. Yeah.
Okay. Iconic Bear. Thank you very much for the subscription for 2 months. He's telling me to buy the Legos. So there we go.
No, don't buy the Legos. No. $250 worth of Tai-How keycaps.
Wow, that's a lot. I could swim in those. Like, wouldn't I be able to? They're pretty cheap. I'd be able to swim in them.
Yeah, that's like 10 sets. About $25 a set.
Exactly. Yeah, I could get a Lego Millennium Falcon.
That's a pretty good investment. That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much about Legos. I used to play with Legos as a kid, but in my adult life, I have very little Lego knowledge.
They do these really cool ones though now. They do these ones called architecture, and it's like famous sculptures or buildings from around the world, and you can kind of do them. There's like a London skyline with Big Ben and the London Eye, or there's one from Las Vegas, which has got like some famous casinos from there, and there's one of the Statue of Liberty and the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like they've gotten to such a point where it's like they actually market them towards like adults. Like it's not.
Oh yeah,
it's,
sure.
Legos like used to be a toy when I was a kid, and like now it feels like they're not toys anymore. It's kind of like like puzzles basically. People like collect and do puzzles and stuff.
Oh man, they've got a Bugatti Chiron here as well. That's pretty cool. I'm going to post a link into chat. Should I buy this, guys? Tell me if I should buy this because it looks cool.
You guys are crazy. Shout outs to Starstone. I think the 3 is supposed to be an E, right? So it's Starstone.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't put 2 and 2 together until like a week ago, but he's subbing tier 2 for 15 months in a streak. So thank you very much, Starstone. And
tier 2 as well.
Sam,
wow.
Yeah, tier 2. Nice. Cyber Sam also subbing with Twitch Prime for 14 months. Thank you so much, man. God, it's crazy, like, to think that Top Clack has existed for as long as it has.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we do an episode, it's like a new thing, but like, it's almost been 3 years.
We see a big number. Yeah. Yeah.
We're really like 2 months away from 3 years.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Oh, J-Shift has just gifted a tier 1 sub, and that's gone to Derpstradamus. I will get that out. Derpstradamus. Wow, there we go.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Derpstradamus. Oh. Alright, guys, how does everything sound? Everything sound equal? Does Jay sound too quiet or too loud? Do I sound too loud?
I'm probably on mute again.
Does Jay sound too British?
Too British? You should. I kind of put on a BBC accent when I'm speaking on stream. You should hear my typical broad Yorkshire accent.
I'm curious to know like what you sound like in person, because I didn't know until very recently that you didn't talk the way that you normally talk on the show.
Yeah. I kind of have like a voice for work so that people from all over the country can tell what I'm saying, because the UK is really quite split in terms of a lot of its accents and things like that. So there's people from all over the UK struggle to understand each other at times. So yeah, I do have a really broad Yorkshire accent. I can't do a Scouse accent. I've never lived anywhere near Liverpool, so I can't do a Scouse accent.
El Pepe says, "Mr. Worldwide."
Mr. Worldwide. Yeah, if you call Yorkshire worldwide, then yeah.
Fantastic. Bot pinged early? Did it really?
What? Is it already pinged? It has.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that
is early.
That's pretty early, yeah. Anytime less than 5 minutes, I'm pretty impressed.
Cows and Outclass says, happy Thursday. Well, for you maybe. For me, it's technically Friday right now.
Yeah, for me it is Thursday, and that's really what matters. So, just keep that in mind, guys. I like living in the past, apparently. Everyone else is in the future.
Yeah, Brian.
We'll wait just another moment or two to let people roll in before we officially start.
Sure.
Totally forgot it was Thursday. Bad mod. Want to buy new mod.
Yeah, need new mod. No, they pay us. Don't forget that. They pay us. We're not buying them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
Apparently I'm looking scruffy. Gee, thanks.
You look a little scruffier than usual, yeah.
I haven't been to the barbers yet this week. That might be why. I used to go every week for a beard trim and stuff, but I haven't been this week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Every Wednesday. I didn't go this week.
NR Bigfoot subbing at tier 1 for 5 months. Thank you very much. Bigfoot exists. It's not just a myth. It's not just a legend.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We have proof. He's in the stream.
He's in our chat. Yeah.
You can't deny that. That's proof.
Pilot XJ says, "Oh man, I hope you guys talk about the Timberwolf. It's on our news doc. It is on our news doc. One Creative Mind subbing with Twitch Prime for 3 months. Thank you very much.
Nice.
And a straight class. Is it just that time of the month?
I think it must be. Yeah.
Yeah, straight classy with a tier 1 on a 5-month streak. Love you too.
5-month streak. Yeah.
Love you
that's
too.
pretty good.
This is gonna be a good show today. We got a pretty short news doc.
That's not a bad thing, though.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's gonna be interesting to not have like a 2.5 hour show for once.
I might actually get some sleep tonight.
No. We're gonna keep you up somehow. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of how. All right. Just a matter of how. Mountain
Blocks. Thank you very much. Yeah, 200 bits there. Thank you, dude.
Happy Thursday to you as well. It's one of the best days of the week. Tomorrow should be pretty good for me too. I should have a pretty cool build stream.
Well, I'm going to the post office tomorrow, or later on today as it is now for me, because I'm pretty sure that the T-shirt that Mountain Blocks sent me, the Dolch one, is there. Apparently, I've got 5 parcels that are there that they haven't been able to deliver for some unknown reason. Even when people have been in the house, they've decided they can't deliver them. But it's that my Dolch T-shirt has been in the UK now for 14 days.
I was about to say it's been a while now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's going to be one of the 5 parcels I can pick up tomorrow.
Feels UK, man. And then they're probably going to ask you for like money for the packages or something.
Yeah, they will do. Yeah, 20% plus £8 per package.
What a joke.
Yep.
The uptime command from Mirari. We actually don't have our bot doesn't do the uptime thing yet, unfortunately. But we've been live for about 8 minutes. This is just kind of our usual pre-show banter to make sure the stream is working fine and everything is going okay. So we don't crash. So we have a lower chance of crashing and burning during the actual stream.
Yeah, make sure the tech's all there and stuff. Cows and Outclass says, people ask me what Dolch means, and I keep saying it's a really dirty word. Well, it is kind of.
Dolch? Does Dolch actually have an English meaning?
Let me Google really quick. It means substantive. Oh, it doesn't. I don't know what any of those words mean.
Dagger in German, according to Mountain Blocks.
Yeah, I'm just reading through. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know the word exists in a few other languages as well. I don't think it has a meaning in English, though. Dan the Man Fighter is asking, how do I go about promoting a keyboard I am selling on this stream? Presumably, you mean an interest check or group buy for a keyboard that you have designed and or are running. If so, you can always PM us at any time on our official Discord, link below, or hit us up on Reddit, anywhere else, basically. If it is like an interest check or a group buy and like it looks like it's fairly promising at all, we usually add anything that's on Keycap or Reddit or Keep Talk, whatever your desired platform is.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of do a bit of a scour around all the sites to see what's going on, see what the news is. We collect a kind of list of links during the week of anything that we see and spot, and sometimes people PM us and give us a link to something that they want us to have a look at and give an honest thought on. So if you've got a link or anything you want to share with us, then let us know. It may be that what you've got is on our news doc today, depending on what it is and where you're from.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Much LOLs and external hard drive both subbing at tier 2.
Ooh, nice.
For a 4-month and 2-month streak, respectively. So thank you very much.
Wow.
Tier 2 subs. Wow, that's fancy.
Yeah, tier 2.
Cows in Art class asking me what I'm sipping on. Treetop apple juice? I guess it kind of looks like apple juice, right? Could that pass as apple juice?
It could do. It could do.
I'm drinking one of my favorite ryes that isn't terribly expensive. This is called, it's a double rye by High West Whiskey. This is one of my kind of favorite go-tos. We don't usually drink on the show. Longtime viewers of the show will know why. But I felt like just having a glass or two during the show today. Just because it's going to be a kind of a short and sweet show, so I kind of wanted a short and sweet whiskey as well. That was terrible. That made no sense at all. Talisman Solutions donating his signature 1,111 bits. He's now up to
99,999. Wow, one bit away from the magical 100k.
I like it.
Yeah,
thank you very much
cool.
for that. And Lumens subbing at tier 1 for 2 months says Papega. Papega cool. To you as well, sir. Alright, now is probably as good a time to any, so I will roll this intro and we will get into it.
Hey guys, so welcome to the show this week. I am Jay, and we've also got Brian Quakums on stream as well. We've got a bit of a not quite so packed news document for this week, but it's going to be a good show nonetheless. It gives us more time to chat with you, more time to focus on you, and to engage with you as well. So we'll try and keep a bit more of an eye on chat this week than we normally do. But we hope you're all having a great week. We're looking forward to the show. We're looking forward to telling you all about the new stuff that's been happening in the world of keyboards. And I think we're going to start out with a bit of a mail call. So, Brian, what have you had going on this week?
Yeah, so I actually got a nice little care package from our newest sponsor, Dixiemech. So he sent me a few different things, 2 of which I'm already using right now, and I'm about to use the 3rd one, and I would have already been using it if I didn't want to show it off on stream. So he sent me this nice little mecha shirt that I'm wearing right now. You can see
nice
little Dixie branding there. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
He also sent me a couple of his new coasters. He has these adorable little new coasters, which I'm using one right now, guys. So sent me a couple of those, so I'm happy about that. Those are pretty awesome. He also sent me, I think this is an upcoming mouse mat design. I didn't see it on his store yet, but this is I'm gonna have to back up to show this. This is like the Home Sweet Home.
Nice.
Desk mat, which I thought was just adorable because this is really kind of pulling from his southern roots, where you use desk mats and stuff like that. For not desk mats, sorry, but welcome mats for like your house, for instance.
Nice.
So like you wipe your feet on them, you come in, it says Home Sweet Home. It's adorable. It's very Dixiemech, which I like. I appreciate.
It is, yeah. It's cool. That's cool. I like that.
I'm not going to take it out of the box, but I'm also building a Key Cult #1 revision 1 for someone, most likely on stream tomorrow, guys. If anyone's interested in watching that, this just came in yesterday. Unfortunately, obviously it's for someone else. I can't keep this, but maybe I should. Maybe I should just steal it and run away. Just leave it.
Just don't send it back. Just don't send it back.
But that's going to be a fun build stream. Switches should be arriving sometime today for that as well. So stay tuned for tomorrow if you're interested in watching that. That's going to be good.
Awesome.
What about you, Jay? What did you get?
Just before we do that, just a big shout out to Mr. Petrol for 1,001 bits. Thank you very much for that, dude. I think that was the only one that I missed. Yeah, okay. So I've had a few bits this week. The first thing I want to show you guys is I got my Waves Keepora in. So this is the Keepora Artisan that's specially designed for the Waves key set. So that's come in now, which is quite nice. It's kind of cool. So I'm interested to see how well that matches up to the actual key set when that ships. The other thing that I got this week, which if you watched my stream on Sunday, you will have seen me give a small review of, is DSS Dolch, which I have here on my Zephyr. The hot take on this was that I love the sculpt. I like the keycaps themselves. I just don't like the texture because it's really, really rough. It's like touching sandpaper. So that's not for me. But other than that, I think the profile itself's got promise. Other than that, I got another two things. The first thing was this nice new little keyboard carry case. So this is actually got my workboard in it at the minute. So just nice little snug case to keep a keyboard in, which is nice. It's all foam lined and fleece lined and everything else that you can possibly do. It's got a little pocket inside as well to put cables in. And then the final thing I got this week was GMK Calm Depths. So yeah, that came on Sunday. So there we go.
Nice. That's a fair amount of things.
Yeah, it's an alright little mail week, to be honest. And I've got quite a few things at the post office, which will be on next week's show, because I won't get them until tomorrow.
Tyler Durden subbing with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Zemus was saying, Quakums is gone. Welcome back, Quakums. Was I gone? Did the stream mess up?
Not for me, you weren't, but then again, I'm not watching on the stream, so maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Manny Blocks saying texture on the DSS is the same as DSA from SP. No, sir, it is not. I had some brand new DSA caps and some brand new DSS caps, and the texture on the DSS caps is different. What I suspect is that the DSS was made to mimic the original molds for DSA, and then over time the DSA molds have been used so much that they're actually softer, but the keycaps that you get off DSA are not as rough as what the DSS ones are. They're significantly softer and smoother to touch. So, there we go.
There you go. Hot takes of DSS.
Hot takes, yeah.
From your boy Jay. Alright, Gooba Types, subbing with Twitch Prime, thank you. And Kosi Fanatuti, subbing at Tier 1. It says, oi, 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 oi.
Oi, 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 oi.
I think I got the proper amount there. Thank you very much for that, guys. Alright, so let's move on to a couple quick announcements. So, just like we were talking about last week, the Discord Nitro boost thing is in effect now. We're at 7 out of our 10 boosts required to hit level 2 on Discord. So, guys, if you guys have Discord Nitro or you are planning to buy Discord Nitro, please consider using your one free included boost on our Top Clack server, officially linked below. And that helps us out a lot. It actually helps audio quality for the show. So, like,
yeah,
there's actually a benefit for boosting us,
yeah.
I swear.
I will sound better.
Yeah, because we generally do our audio over Discord because it's the lesser of several evils. But yeah, that would help us out a lot. You know, feel free, of course. 24-hour stream still upcoming. We're waiting on our final art assets from our designer. Once we get those all done and laid out and get everything structured, we'll hopefully be doing it. It still could happen this month. Just it's all a matter of art assets at this point, kind of. So
it is moving forward, though. That's the main thing.
It is
we are making
forward,
good progress. We've seen some good stuff earlier on today, and we're both really happy. So yeah, it's all moving in the right direction.
Calm down. It says Quakums is very handsy today. I've had like
you're
always
very handsy.
I'm always pretty handsy, actually. You're right. I've had like 3 sips of my whiskey now, so I'm extra. I have a third hand now. Just kind of like
right. Okay. Nice. Third hand. Okay, cool. Next bit of news, guys, just to remind you, there is no build stream for me on Sunday this week. It is Father's Day in the UK, so I'm off with the wife to visit her parents, and we're going to go out for dinner and stuff like that, so I won't be around on Sunday. But I'll return next Sunday with a new build stream. I haven't decided which board yet, but I will be back a week on Sunday with my usual build stream. It's just this week I'm not doing one. But I'm not doing one, but as Brian has already said, he is doing a build stream. I think is that tomorrow you're going to do that, Brian? Friday?
Yeah, it's sounding like tomorrow, as long as everything arrives on time, which it's scheduled to today, so
sure,
should be good to go for a build stream tomorrow. So if you guys maybe you don't like Jay quite as much, but you want to watch me build instead, then bam, I'll be.
Why does it have to be a
I know.
popularity contest?
Actually, if it's a
a
popularity contest, it's a total loss for me because your build streams always get more views than mine do. Every time.
Because they're more regular. That's all it is. It's because I do them always at the same time. You know, that gives me a bit of a step up, I think.
Mine are a little impromptu, but no, I'm just being friendly, Jay. Come on, you like to poke fun at you. You got thicker skin than this. I know it. So yeah, build stream should be tomorrow, guys. I'm aiming for around 5 p.m. Pacific time, maybe 6 p.m. at the latest. So, stay tuned in Discord if you're interested in that, because I'll have update there beforehand.
Yeah, just on that board as well, I am really interested in your thoughts on it, because I know you've not built one of the Keycap boards yet, but the number one boards really, really did change my understanding of what a $500 board could be and should be. So I'm really interested to see what your thoughts of that after you've done the build. So yeah, we should catch up on that next week, I think, on stream.
Definitely, yeah. I'm really interested for it tomorrow because, like you said, this is gonna be my first time doing it. I've typed on a number one in the meetup before, but like that doesn't really mean anything. Like you gotta get personal with the board to like really understand it. It's like it's just like a relationship, Jay.
Yeah, you got to get your fingers all over the insides of it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta slide that PCB right in there.
Yep.
All right. So before we get banned on Twitch, let's go into our news doc, shall we?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So to start us off this week, guys, we have got as the designer says, a cute split ergo board. So this is a interest check for the mini Corne CRKBD board. It's effectively a split ergo keyboard. It's really small, really cute. There isn't much to say on this one. I mean, it does have a few bits to talk about. So in terms of the case, it comes with a few different options: acrylic, wood, or aluminium, and you can have frosted acrylics and things like that as well. It also has kind of like tinted angles, and it's got little LCD screens on there as well, so it's quite useful for that kind of stuff, or you can have it flat if you want. So it's really designed to be quite a comprehensive ergo board that's got a tenting option for all of those kind of people that want to be able to adjust the typing angle and all of that kind of good stuff. So we just wanted to tell you guys about this. So if it is your kind of thing, it's a really nice little board that's an interest check. There's no price at the minute, but it does offer a range of different switch types you can use with this. You can either use Kale Choc switches or you can use MX switches. And that comes in either a standard version PCB that you'll have to solder, which supports both types of switch, or you can have a hot swap for either version. So you can have a hot swap MX, or you can have a hot swap Kale Choc board, depending on what you want to do. So as I say, no price just as yet. This is just an IC at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that the designer of this has done a few of the boards in the past and will be back with a price in the near future. You can also pick and choose if you want to add all of your components, as Brian's showing you on screen now. So if you want to add all of the different components to be able to build this, or you just want a really split down kit because you've got a lot of bits and pieces lying around, multiple options there depending on what you want to do, but it all looks quite cheap for the add-ons and things like that as well, so it looks pretty good. So what do you think to this, Brian? What are your thoughts?
It looks pretty good. Obviously, the kind of the Corne design was I'm spacing on the name, but it was previously called something else. It's been around for a while now.
Yeah,
and I think it's pretty neat. I mean, there's a much smaller kind of niche within the niche with split ergo boards or ortho boards, stuff like that. And it's always good to see them succeed because a lot of people really benefit from this.
Yeah, I think they're great little boards. They're fantastic as starter boards. They're great to learn how to solder with. They're really usable, and if you guys like ergo or ortho linear layouts, these boards are really good to get you into that kind of scene as well. And they're usually a cheap way of entering that kind of side of the hobby too. So yeah, really good little thing to see.
All right, good stuff. Let's move on to an interest check for the Timberwolf, an XL 75% by Croctopus. It's a great username, by the way. So this is, I can't really call it a 75%, but I guess I'll call it an XL 75% like he does in the title here. This is effectively a kind of modified and updated 75% that has some questionable design choices, particularly in the layout region, but I will preface this thread by saying exactly what he says in the very first line. Keyboard design always starts with the layout for me. So I am assuming that is to mean that this is kind of more his personal thing. Other people might not like this layout quite as much. It's interesting to say the least. We'll start.
Yeah.
We'll start there. So, just to run down a couple things so far, this is a plateless design, and it is top mounted. So this is going to be kind of similar to the same design as the Jur AO6, I believe it was, which also had a top mounted plateless design. So you get that kind of more traditional, old school, vintage PCB mount feel, and instead of having it be tray mounted, it is actually mounted on the top. So you should still get a little bit of flex. And I believe, hold on, I should have put this in the notes, but he does, okay, yes. So he has PCB cutouts as well, but he's aiming the cutouts to give you more of a consistent key feel as opposed to maximum flex, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how he achieves that. That is something I do want to see. But just running down some of the other specs as well before we start to get into some thoughts on the board itself. It doesn't come with a weight, but it is estimated to weigh about 2.4 kilograms for just the top and the bottom as well. So slightly over that when you start to add a PCB and caps or all the switches and that kind of stuff. He also does talk about something about the mount, saying it's almost reminiscent of a burger mount. So I'm assuming that it's got some sort of rubber O-ring around each of the mount points on the PCB. So we'll have to have a look and see how that's shared. I don't think there's any detail in there particularly as yet, but I would like to see an exploded view like we usually ask for to be able to understand how that works together. Colours to be determined, and the PCB will be QMK compatible as well.
Yep, it'll also use an 8-degree angle, and this is what the side profile looks like. Not entirely for me, but I like the concept here. I really do. This board might not be for me, but he's got a clear vision. He's obviously into the BattleTech universe, which I kind of did a little brief research on beforehand, and it is very much a mech-centered kind of video game on Steam. And it's pretty clear that the design is kind of taken from that. You got a lot of sharp edges and bezels and like just sharp corners. There's not a whole lot of roundness anywhere. It's very much kind of, a mechanical type of appearance. And he has a few different layouts, but he hasn't finalized any of them yet. So it sounds like, while reading the thread, that he kind of wants to focus on one layout and maybe do a second. He's probably not going to do all three of these, but I'll just show all three of these anyways because they're interesting. So, let's talk about the layout a little bit here, because this guy has a very clear vision of what he wants, and I feel like a lot of people might not understand it, and I'm including us in that, a lot of people.
Yeah. Just talk us through the layouts, Brian. Just talk us through them.
Yeah, so this first one here, it's hard to know what to call this, because it's so unique. There's nothing else really like this, honestly. He does seem to emphasize wanting a rotary encoder somewhere on here. So in this one, let's say he has it on the right side here, kind of next to his 2U vertical plus here, which I believe he uses as delete, which he has stated in the thread. He also has another version here.
Wait a minute. 2U vertical delete.
You better hold off on doing that too much, Shay. That's gonna get overplayed way too quick. But let's.
It's deserved on that one. It's deserved on it. It's deserved.
Okay, probably. Yeah, that's right. But he seems to want a rotary encoder somewhere here. He's got it on the right side here. On this particular render, he has it on the top left, and then in these he has it on the right. And this one doesn't even have a rotary encoder. So he has a lot of interesting choices here. And one thing I thought was particularly interesting was the fact that he has a numpad enter here. So this is a 2U vertical enter, and I'm gonna read out this line because this confuses me a lot. He says, "Numpad enter, easily my favorite key on a keyboard, and I think its loss is glaring issue with all TKLs." Now I ask you, Jay, and chat, why do you need a second enter, a numpad enter on a TKL?
You don't.
Because I'm trying to figure out why I would need it.
I mean, the thing, right, okay, so I can't see any reason for it. If that's the key he likes and that he likes, that's fine. I personally don't understand why you would want that. You're pushing the enter off right over to the right-hand side of the board. I kind of get if you had TKL functions in the middle, you might have that kind of useful there if you were using up the mouse and you didn't want to come all the way over the TKL functions, but really, with this size of board, I'm not quite sure I get it. Again, if he likes that kind of thing, that's fine. I'm just not quite sure that I appreciate that. What I'd like to see there is the option to have those keys, those 2U keys, actually 1U keys or 2U keys, a little bit like we do sometimes when we split backspace. If you had that functionality there, people could pick and choose. They could have 4 1U keys instead of the 2U keys. That might make a lot more sense for other people. What is really interesting about the layouts, though, is that he offers multiple different layouts that look like they would need completely different PCBs. The arrow cluster is in a different place on a couple of the different revisions. One of the revisions, for example, you've got the arrow clusters, then you've got a whole 1U space for the 2U vertical enter key. Some of the other layouts, they have the arrows moved over to the side a little bit more, and then the enter keys or the 2U keys that are vertical are above the arrows. So there is a couple of different layouts that he's toying with to try and get that to work, and then there's a different number of keys for the macro column on the left hand side of the board. I think that he just I think rather than sharing all of these different ideas, would have been better if he would have said, this is the layout that I want to choose, this is where his vision is. And I think he doesn't understand his vision correctly himself, or maybe he needs some more inspiration for that. I'm not quite sure. But I do feel like it would have benefited if he'd have said, this is categorically the layout that I'm going with. Fine, show the other ones as history of his design changes and how he's gone on that journey to get there. But I think it should be really clear that there's one design and not have multiple different inspirations in there, is my view. I think having all those layouts detracts from the quality of the interest check as well.
Maybe. I'm actually going to fight you on this for a second. I'm going to take his side for a moment, and I'm going to read off a couple lines that he writes in to pretty much combat what you just said here. It says, to that end, the Timberwolf is top-mounted, allowing the entire piece and PCB to be quickly switched out to an alternate layout. Mind you, this does not have a plate. This is a plateless design. Then he talks about why he wanted to implement quick swapping, is what he's calling it. So he's kind of aiming this to be a potential board where maybe you buy multiple tops if he's selling multiple tops. Maybe you buy multiple PCBs if he's selling multiple PCBs. And you can kind of easily just take the top off and swap it around, because the top will obviously have the PCB on it and you don't have to worry about a plate.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to buy multiple tops and multiple PCBs so you can do that, you're just reusing the base, then maybe, because you would need separate PCBs. Looking at some of the designs here, it's not something that's going to fit without you desoldering. I kind of get that. I just feel like having all of these different designs detracts from the quality of the whatever decision he's going to make. I think there's too much choice, and I think he should be quite decisive on what he wants. Given the fact that it's going to be quite divisive anyway, I think he should be a lot clearer on what his design choices and his rationale and his purpose for the board is. But that's just my gut feeling.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily agreeing with him whether it's a good idea or an excellent idea or a bad idea, whatever. But he does seem to have an idea of what he wants to do. Whether the public likes it and wants to accept it and pay for it is a different story.
Sure. Okay. I mean, just looking at the other design features on the board, I like the fact that it's center USB. That makes a lot of sense for me. I'm not so fond of the side profile. That weird angle that he's got on the front lip is just... I'm not quite sure I understand why that's there. But I do like the kind of bezels around the edges. Other than that, but that front edge that's kind of slanted at a weird angle, I'm not quite sure I like that personally. And it doesn't look like it's there in all of the pictures, unless I'm mistaken that whiteboard.
It is. It's just kind of shadowed off a little bit. Oh, Discord cut you out, Jay. Hold on. I can't hear you. Why does this keep happening? It works for hours before the show, but once we're live, it doesn't work. Sheesh.
How weird. Can you hear me now, dude?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hopefully I'm back now.
Yeah, you sound fine now.
Man, so weird when it does that. The only other thing I was going to call out on this board, which is what I was just talking about when I got cut off there, is the weird LED indicator placement. It just feels like it's lost where it is. I get trying to put it between keys in places, but where it is right now just feels like it's a little bit lost. It feels like it's in line with that top, the top of the top row, effectively, or the top of the num row, rather than centered in the middle of one of the keys or something like that. It just feels like it's a little bit lost in all of that open space where it is on pretty much all of the layouts. I think that could be better positioned, or there could be multiple options for caps lock, whatever else you wanted to use. It just feels a little bit weird where it is.
Yeah. Also, just a quick note, since he does mention it, about the 2U vertical delete. He says the PCB does support putting 2 1U
Okay.
keys in this area, but a 2U delete key using a numpad plus keycap feels really great, apparently.
Sure.
For
Okay.
him.
Well, I'm glad that option's there. That does make it slightly more
Yeah.
usable in my eyes. I think I'd like to see that on the renders as well. Maybe you should do a render showing the options that the PCBs can actually support.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. All right. So it seems very interesting. Whether it's going to take off, I think, could be another story. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe this does enter group buy phase. Could be.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how it comes out. I think it's entirely going to depend on what layout he picks out of these options. I think he's going to determine it, which ones of these run or don't run, and what other options you've got on the PCB as well, in terms of, some of these layouts are wing keyless and some aren't. So I think it's just going to be really interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel like this is for me right now. It does feel like it's a little bit too unusual for me in terms of the layout, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. Next up, we have another board. This one looks particularly interesting to me. And this is the Perry 60, an isolation mount acrylic $100 keyboard. So this is actually a pretty interesting idea. So he actually has a little kind of slight backstory. I'm not going to read off, but I'm gonna paraphrase just a little bit. He was basically he went to KeyCon and he was talking to some people. And they were talking about how a lot of boards, particularly the ones that feature a lot of the higher-end gasket or isolation mount solutions, are just too dang expensive. And
Sure.
they kind of wanted to do something that's everyone could afford, but kind of include the similar kind of technology to where you might still get a reasonable amount of the same kind of benefit that you would from those $400, $500, $800 keyboards, and just kind of tailor that down to the $100 budget. So with that, they introduced the Perry 60, which is a layered acrylic design that does feature some cutouts and a plate that features like rubber band, kind of like rubber bands from the pictures that I've seen, that basically go around the edges of the plate. Looks like there's like 4. You can kind of see them in this picture I have on screen here. I don't think there's a better picture.
There is a better picture. If you go to the 3 bullet points where it shows prototype plate in 3D printed assembly case, there's another imager link underneath that.
Perfect.
And there's
Yes.
you got it. Yeah, cool.
Okay, so yeah, there's like rubber bands around different parts of the plate, and then obviously rests between layers of acrylic. And this is pretty interesting, guys. It may not be a super high end brass custom or anything, but I like the idea. I've always been a fan of value. If you can get a better keyboard experience for way less money, I am all for it. And I think this is kind of a good step in that direction, where you're trying to implement technology that is normally on more expensive keyboards, and you're bringing it down to something that pretty much everyone in the community can afford. $100, not that much for a keyboard.
Yeah, I think this is really, really interesting. I mean, as you say, if you can get better bang for buck, then why wouldn't you want to do that? I think that's a really good way of looking at it. If this gets you 90% of the experience of some of the other boards that we've looked at that do isolation mount, there's different variations of it, from the true isolation that you see in the Kepler and the JR1 right the way through to the isolation type mounting that we see in the Bauer and the Keycap boards. So I think that this is a really good way of trying it out to see if there's any other options that are cheap and easy to implement that the average user can have access to without spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'd be really interested to see what this looks and feels like in real life. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it will get you some way to that experience. How far it gets you, I'd have to try it to be certain, but I think it's definitely an interesting design.
Yeah, certainly. So, while I do think this is pretty awesome, I'm going to bring up just one concern I do have, just by looking at the renders. So, if you can see, judging by this pic on the renders, he does have, he has lots of screws all around the edges. They actually come out the bottom of the acrylic, and from what it looks like, there's no nut there. There's no there's nothing to bolt it on. It's just bare screws coming out the bottom. I imagine there might be a standoff somewhere in here, but I'm not 100% sure. And in the same vein, I wonder if there's going to be some kind of foot system for this. It'd be nice to have some options to actually have some angle, because I don't know if you've ever used a flat board, particularly with GMK. It's not good. So
No, I agree.
it'd be really cool to get some kind of foot mounting system on here, even if it's just what's other previous manufacturers like Windkeyless.kr used to do. They'd have just cut acrylic that would just go on the bottom, like one large like oval piece, then a smaller oval
Sure.
piece, and then another smaller oval piece, and it's kind of just like one long 3-layered bar that goes along the bottom and provides your angle. It could be something as rudimentary as that, and I think that can work totally fine and still not really increase cost that much. So
Yeah.
it'd be kind of cool to see some kind of foot system here if they haven't already thought of that already.
Yeah, I mean, Slippery Pete's in chat. He's saying that kits will include bump-ons, so that it won't be resting on the screw mounts or anything like that. It will be resting on those. I think one of the concerns for me, and maybe Slippery Pete can answer a couple of these questions as well, is that the fact that the board's flat, that front looks like it's quite high, especially looking at some of the 3D printed prototypes. It looks like it's quite deep and quite thick. If that's anything over, kind of 2 centimeters, 20 millimeters, that's going to start to feel quite high up, and you're going to start to feel like you're typing at a downward angle, especially when the board's flat as well. So I am interested to know how deep and how thick that is, and maybe there's something you can do with the top case of the bezels to try and level that off. 24 millimeters tall at the front. Yeah, it did look quite tall. Yeah,
That's pretty
high.
tall. Actually, I think it was somewhere in here. There's a little video. He calls it an assembly video. I'm gonna call it more of an exploded GIF, where he kind of shows how to assemble and disassemble it here just by kind of a graphic design. And something I kind of noticed here is there seems to be a lot of layers of acrylic, like way more than you probably need. And I was thinking if that was actually a design choice based on maybe acoustics. Like maybe just having more material will help dampen a little bit, give you a little bit deeper of a sound, a little bit better of a resonated note, even with the isolation mount. So I'm kind of curious to know if that's for acoustic reasons, because if it's not, you could probably take away a few of those layers and get it down to closer to the 20 millimeter or 19 millimeter mark. Because like Jay said, like 24 millimeters is pretty tall, especially for not having feet. So I'd be curious to know like
no angle.
Yeah, no angle. Yeah, so I'd be curious to know what it's going to be like to type on like this, and possibly with some alterations or modifications. I have been told that Top Clack should be receiving a sample of one of these, so that'll be pretty cool to test out. I'll be able to get my hands on it and build it up and go from there and give my thoughts and opinions on it, of course. So that's gonna be pretty cool to check out as well.
Yeah, definitely interested to see how it goes. I think it's got a lot of potential. I like the fact that he's trying to do the kind of more advanced design on a budget. That's a really good thing to see. A couple of concerns around the 3D printed prototypes, the height and things like that, as we've covered. But again, I think, like Brian said, really interested to see what this actually looks like and what it feels like, types like, and sounds like. I think, the proof's in the pudding with this kind of thing, right? So, we have to give it a chance and see how it turns out. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what it looks like.
Yeah, he does say in chat, luckily the extra layers can be removed by the user. So that's always a cool feature. That's one of the benefits of doing layered acrylic. You can kind of just customize it to however many layers that you want. It's you can make it shorter, easy. But one worry I do have there is you will need shorter screws, because even with the full amount of layers here, the screws still poke out a fair amount. And if you start taking off 1, 2, 3+ layers or whatever, you're gonna have screws, all throughout the bottom of your build, and it's going to look and be pretty bad if you're using even like a desk mat or something. It can really hurt a desk mat or a desk, so you really need bump-ons.
I think the key to this is making the prototypes, trying it out with different numbers of layers, working out what's right, and then sharing that with people before you run the true group buy, if this makes it to group buy.
Yeah. It sounds like this was kind of more of like a prototype group buy as opposed to a real group buy.
I get that impression.
He's only doing 13 of these prototypes, but if these all come out well, it sounds like he's going to be running a more full-fledged, larger scale group buy. Potentially the full group buy will begin shortly after the prototypes are finished, provided that they are of good quality, like he says here in the thread. So, if this is something you're interested in, could be coming soon if the prototypes go out pretty well. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it works. Back to your point, Brian, if we can see something that's got 90% of the benefit for only 10% of the cost, then absolutely excited to see that.
Because like it's always fun and cool and stuff to see boards like the Kepler and the number 2 and stuff but they're cool because they can implement technology and then people pay for it because the price is high. But when you actually get like really cool technology and a really awesome typing experience for a fraction of the cost, that's what's really interesting to me in the community.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hence why I love the Sirius so much, and why I'm looking forward to the Polaris so much, because those boards are way more interesting to me than stuff like the number 2 and the Kepler and stuff like that. All right, good stuff.
Okay. So where are we heading up next then, Brian?
Yeah, we're gonna move out of keyboards and move over to key sets. Starting off with an interest check for GMK Rudy by both Warren and Walker of the Discord. Different Walker than a lot of you Discord people might be thinking. There's now 2 Walkers in our Discord. Yeah, I added the note in the doc that says "not mad scientist." So this is.
He does literally say that. He's literally put that in there. Yeah.
I don't mess around. So this is. This is a GMK set based on the American football film Rudy, which I, just a preface, I have never seen. I don't know anything about Rudy. So the theme is totally lost on me here, except I do like that they have a theme. It seems very cohesive. This interest check is really, really well laid out. They talk a lot about every choice that they make. A lot of kits broken down and everything. A ridiculous amount of renders, all pretty nice.
Yeah. I think this is really interesting. As you say, I like the fact that they've got the whole about section here in the group buy. There's a theme. There's a lot of information about why they've picked that up. There's history with the 2 runners. That's intertwined with the story and all of that kind of stuff. So it is really good to see that they've got that kind of whole, not just a theme behind it, but kind of like emotional interest in it as well, which is really nice to see. It's good to see that. In terms of the kits, I think the kits look quite strong. If you look at the base kit, you've got numpad support in there. There's basic ISO support as well. You've got most of your modern 60-65% in keyless, HHKB, alternate bottom rows. Pretty much everything's in there, including some accented arrow keys as well if you want to swap those out. So it's good to see all of that. The novelties. What do you think to the novelties, Brian? What do you think to these?
Well, again, having no emotional investment in the movie at all because I've never seen it, I don't like them. But again, I don't know how well they tie into the movie, or, I'm not the target audience for this particular theme. But I will say, just because I always love text-based novelties, I like the 1 USAC keys.
Yeah, they are nice. Yeah. I think, again, I don't know the film. I don't know American football too well. I can kind of see that they're following the theme. They've got the name of what I assume is the protagonist in the movie. They've got the American football helmet. I kind of see that. I am worried about the producibility of some of the details in that American football helmet. I don't know if that's doable or not. I know GMK sometimes push back on novelty designs that have got too thin details in there. Yeah. So I'm not sure how that's going to be. Other than that, looking at the spacebar kit, I think the spacebar kit does what it says on the tin. It's got everything that's probably needed in there as well. So I think that's fair enough. What do you think is the actual design then, Brian? How does this sit with you from a design perspective?
I love it. I think the colors are fantastic. I don't know what particular color this is on the mods, but I think it's lovely, and I would love to see this set in person. This is probably going to be a set where, even having no investment in it, I'll probably buy it just because I think the colors are polished enough. They're not too over the top. This is a fairly subdued set, but it's right up my alley.
Yeah. One of the interesting things is there is an Irish keycap on some of the renders on the Satisfaction 75, but that's not actually in the kit anymore. I don't know if that key's been dropped or if it's been changed in favour of the Rudy key. I'm not quite sure. Just a little bit of inconsistency there in the detail.
Yeah, I think they had mentioned previously that it wasn't... all the renders weren't completely up to date. I think this novelties kit is up to date, so I believe the Rudy key will be overtaking the Irish key. From what I am understanding.
Okay, cool. And I think there's also going to be a Rama cap and a Zap cable themed cables as well, if I remember rightly from reading this earlier on. I think that it says that somewhere in this interest check.
Yep.
So it looks like we've got some more to expect to come from the interest check as well. Just my thoughts on the colours. I like them. It reminds me of a muted version of McMerlin's key set. I'm not sure if he's changed the name from Cerulean Sage now to just Merlin or something.
Yeah,
but it does remind me of a kind of... Yeah, he did, because that was a great name.
It was a great name.
But it does remind me of a kind of muted version of that, where he's got quite bright colours in that. This kind of feels like a muted version of it to me, which is not a bad thing. It's not a criticism or anything like that. It's just something that I've noticed. But I think this is quite nice. Again, not the novelties for me, but just the standard the white alphas, the blue mods, and then 1 or 2 of the accent keys. Potentially those arrows, I think, quite nice. So yeah, I quite like it.
Yeah, this particular blue I'm in love with. This looks so amazing. I think the contrast is really, really on point here, and it's really well designed. And the renders are fantastic. Shoutouts to Abec13 here, who I've never even heard of doing renders before. But
yeah, they are really good.
These are really good renders.
I thought they were Janglad renders at first, to be honest.
Yeah, like these are good. All right. With that in mind, let's move on to our next topic here, the interest check for GMK M_SS_NG space K_YS.
You've missed one, I think. Have you?
I don't think I did. Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did. You did. You missed one. We'll do this one first, then we'll come back to it. Just stay on this one. We'll do the other after. Ignore the first link I posted, guys. Yeah, this is only the 3rd week on the trot this has happened.
What? No, it's the 2nd. It's the... Jay, please. I'm drinking, Jay. Can I use that as an excuse yet? I'm on my 2nd glass, right? Can I use it as an excuse
10 glasses and then you can use an excuse. 10 glasses.
10 glasses? That's...
Wow. Yeah. All right. Okay. So yeah, this is GMK missing keys. We'll come back to the name in a few minutes. This has been posted by Pingu, who people will know from the IDB60 group buy and a few other boards. I've built a couple of his boards on stream as well. But it was actually posted on behalf of a Discord user called Janik80 or Janny80K or something like that, who's from the EU community and has been speaking to Wodan about releasing a fix kit for OG sets. So that's all been approved. Wodan doesn't have a problem with doing it because, for those that you don't know, Wodan ran a similar kit in the past called the Hadapter set. And basically what this does is it converts vintage Cherry ISO sets, which there's quite a lot of within the community, to ANSI. So basically what it is, it takes the ISO key set as a whole, which came on a lot of the OG boards, gives you the keys that you need to turn it from the ISO layout into an ANSI layout.
Perfect. I love it. So I actually have a couple OG German sets that I could effectively turn into ANSI sets with this, which is kind of interesting. So that's good. I like the idea. I mean, it's a lot of OG Cherry sets are using ISO layout, and a lot of people in this community don't use ISO layout. So, but they want to use those caps because they are good caps. OG Cherry caps are good caps. So this is kind of your solution to porting it over to a more modern age, I guess you could say. One thing I would say, which is kind of a bummer, but it's also kind of unavoidable, is that a lot of those OG vintage caps are going to be used. They're going to be well shined up, and obviously you're going to be bringing in brand new GMK keycaps to augment that with, and you're not going to have an even shine, which obviously is, I know, guys, it's a minor complaint, but hey,
I think
there's no getting around it.
A bigger worry for me, rather than the uneven shine, is the fact that some of the older OG keysets, depending on how they've been stored and what boards they've been on over time and how much use they've had, is they potentially changed colour from what they were when they were made as well. So over time, plastic goes yellow. You might see some inconsistencies in terms of the colour with how these keys are produced and what the original keys look like at the factory and how they've looked like through UV damage over time. So there might be some slight inconsistencies there as well, but that shouldn't detract people from buying a kit like this that helps convert something that allows more people to use it. That's the aim of the game here. Let more people use something that's out there. Add additional functionality to an existing kit is a great idea, whichever way around it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real getting around that. All you can do is do what they're doing now and use the closest colors you can, which are originally the same colors, and then offer as much compatibility as you can. That's all you can do. They're doing the maximum amount of things they could possibly do for this set.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a really good idea. I'm excited to see it, and I'm looking forward to the group back coming up. Yeah,
should be pretty cool. So there are proxies decided already. So Canon Keys is going to be your NA proxy, and your EU proxy is going to be mykeyboard.eu, and of course, since it is using stock colors, MOQ only at 150, so pretty easy, shouldn't be a problem. Could probably hit this in their sleep.
Yeah, and it should, given the small number of keys, it should be a relatively low priced set as well. I can't imagine it being particularly expensive, given that. Just one thing I do want to call out before we move on, Brian. What do you think to the name? Because I've got two thoughts on the name. The first one is I like the intention behind the name. I think it's really clever. I don't like the fact that the last three letters are KYS. I think that just feels a bit off to me. It's a little bit of, I don't know. It touches a nerve a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not really loving the name one way or the other. But, I mean, you're supposed to fill in the blanks. Like, it would have been different if these were just I's instead of underscores and this was an E.
Yeah.
Like, if it was actually just called Missing Keys without trying to be playful with it, obviously you wouldn't have that issue with KYS.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the answer here, is to call it just Missing Keys. Put the letters back in there. Make sure you've got the vowels in there, and I think it works a lot better.
Yeah, I get that they're trying to be playful about it, and that's totally fine, and I appreciate that. But I think here, this particular compilation of letters, it was not the right place to do it.
Yeah. And it's probably easy to have missed something like that as well. So I don't think it's anyone's fault. I just think it's an unfortunate happenstance. That's all it is.
Yeah, if you hadn't mentioned it before the show, I probably wouldn't even have noticed it, honestly. And I bet a lot of people are possibly similar. But I do get the concern. I do get the concern. It is valid. All right. So await that, guys. That's potentially coming to you soon.
Okay, so jumping back to the item that Brian missed here, we do have another interest check for another add-on kit, effectively, and this was a little bit different. So this is an interest check for whether people are interested in Row 0 and Row 5 Modern Compatibility Kits for classic sets. So for those that you don't know, the traditional key sets that we see today have on the bottom row, we just tend to put row 4 on there, and it's the same for pretty much every GMK set. Some GMK sets, such as Sky Dolch, had row 5 there. I think there's been a couple of other examples as well, but that's what the OG sets have as well. They have row 5 at the bottom row, which is significantly more sculpted. It's a taller keycap with more negative angle on that row. As well as that, GMK also used to make row 0, or certainly when the molds with Cherry, they used to make row 0, which is kind of like row 1, so like your escape key or your F row, but significantly taller again, so it feels like a step up. But we don't see those being run in key set group wise anymore, except for, was it Iris? I think we talked about this the other week.
Yeah, Iris had both row 0 and row 5, and I think there might be one other key set that has row 0. I think Triumph Adler 90, the newest iteration of TA, did have row 5, and I think it had a row 0 add-on kit if you had wanted it. But compared to as many GMK sets that actually run, you almost never see row 0 or row 5.
Yeah, it's really rare. Really, really rare. So what this does is this adds that compatibility back for a lot of those classic sets. So this fits Classic Retro, 9009, Retro Cyrillic, 1800 double shots, which are the OG boards that we talked about earlier on. And this is where you could link it up with that that lovely ANSI, ISO to ANSI swap over pack as well. And it also does the white on black key sets as well, such as Originative, Mash Drop, and some of the 1800 original double shot boards as well. So I think this is a really clever idea. Again, I like that we've got these add-on kits that allow us to add more functionality to older kits that people have already got lying around that are quite common within the community and aren't particularly expensive to buy. What are your thoughts on it, Brian? Is this something you'd be interested in?
Having recently tried row 5 for pretty much the first extended amount of time on TA90, which I recently got, I've been using that on my Kepler. I have been using the row 5 keys, because it actually doesn't come with row 4 1.5U alts and controls, so you're forced to use row 5 for those keys. But I like it. I don't think I have a whole lot of thoughts on it one way or the other. I think it's just fine. If people want that higher sculpt and a little bit more angle there, it's probably exactly for you. I can go either way because I'm pretty adaptable and I'm not really invested in one layout or the other in terms of row profile, at least. But I'd be interested to try row 0. I've never tried row 0 before.
Okay. I might have to bring some caps over that are row 0 to Seattle when I come over, so you can try those out, because I've got an OG set with the row 0 in, so I can bring that over and you can try it out. For me, R5 is, if I could have every key set with R5 bottom row, I would do, because I vastly prefer it. It's just highly unavailable, so adding more support to existing sets, even if it's only a couple of options, then I will definitely be picking this up.
Yeah, I wonder if moving forward we might see row 5 be supported instead of row 4 in some key sets.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
Just for a little bit of extra variety, I guess. I mean, we have people switching things up with key sets all the time these days, and with so many key sets coming out, it'd be interesting to see if row 5 and or row 0 started getting pushed more and more as an alternative to just what we know and currently use in most of our GMK sets today.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I would say, though, that you have to bear in mind is that there are no row 5 spacebars, so the spacebar is always going to be row 4. Row 5 is only ever going to be on your modifier keys, your arrow keys, and the enter key for your numpad. That's literally the only place it exists. But either way, I'm still very excited and very interested in this.
Yep, looking pretty cool. We've been seeing a lot more of these compatibility kits coming out lately.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Add-on kits, fantastic idea. I love it. Absolutely love it. It comes back to that conversation we had a few weeks ago, Brian, where we were talking about do people still want to mix and match GMK sets? This is kind of almost a way of fulfilling that kind of requirement by giving people different kits to use, different keycap sets on different boards and all of that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to our next topic, which is an interest check for Essay Green Book, which seems to be based off a movie, Green Book, which I've also never seen. Maybe I haven't seen it either. Maybe we're just not good enough at watching movies.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that this actually won Best Picture at the Oscars this year, and I'd never even heard of it until I saw this key set, so it shows how out of the loop I've been on that one. But I haven't seen the film, so I don't want to comment on the film or anything particular about that. But the film does have basically a simple theme in the fact that there's a lot of turquoise in the film. The skies are very turquoise. There's a turquoise car and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a really bright turquoisey film, and that's the inspiration for the key set. So just in terms of the key set, it is intended to be a Signature Plastics ABS double shot key set. So this is in SA profile, sculpted SA profile, with some stock color codes. So these are color codes that Signature Plastics use consistently. It's something they have available. And I'm kind of interested in this. I kind of think I like the look of it. What do you think to the key set itself, Brian? Do you like that turquoisey color, or
I like that color a lot? No, that's fine. I'm not in love with it. I feel like the base set needs one more color.
Sure,
but maybe I'm just crazy. There is a novelty pack that has several other colors, in fact. But I don't know. When I look at it, I like the colors, but I feel like it's missing a little something.
Yeah, it just needs a little bit of an extra kick over the line sort of thing. Just speaking about the novelties, I do like the fact that they're all text novelties. I know we're both suckers for a good text novelty. I'm not too fussed for the Lucky Rock or the Love Letter, but I really do like the kids and the wife ones. I think having a wife button on the keyboard, that's quite cool. I really like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. And again, I've never seen the movie, so I have no idea what Lucky Rock or Love Letter actually refers to in reference to the movie itself. But ideally, it probably fits that theme. Again, I don't know the theme, but I like that they have a theme. They clearly have an idea of what they want to do, and they kind of have information to back that up as well. I'd like to see more renders. It looks like there's only this one. So it'd be cool to get some more, but hey, I can only be so picky, I guess.
Yeah, and just looking at the kit design, I'm kind of interested as to why some decisions were made around the kit. I mean, it supports like a full-size numpad, TKL 65%, a HHKB just, I think. But there's probably quite a few keys that you'd see in a standard GMK set that you aren't seeing here. But what we do tend to see with SA sets is that they're usually not in a kit like this. They usually split up into different kits. So you'd have a numpad kit, and you'd have a TKL mod pack kit, and you'd have an alpha kit. And we're not seeing that here. So I'm wondering if he's actually reached out to Signature Plastics and agreed that they would do this type of kit, or whether that needs to be broken down further or changed. It is unusual for a Signature Plastics kit to be base like that, to be honest, for a base kit. It usually is already a lot more split down.
Yeah, one thing I thought was kind of interesting that grabbed my attention is the support for 65 and 75% keys on the right side of your board there. So instead of supporting that like you would normally see a la a GMK set, for instance, they actually have text novelties to support all 4 of those caps on the side there. Trio, piano, cello, and bass. Which I thought was kind of interesting and kind of cute at the same time.
Yeah, I assume it refers back to the movie,
Probably,
but again, I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, again, I do like those. And I like the text arrows as well instead of the icon arrows. That's quite nice too.
Yeah. Cool.
Overall, I think looks okay. I think the big challenge for me is around the kits, whether that's actually what the base kit's going to look like, or whether Signature Plastics are going to want to split that up or chunk it up in different ways. I think that's going to be the key to this set.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 Strong, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. 3 months. Appreciate it, my dude.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, dude.
All right, let's move on to the last topic of our news doc. Yes, guys, that's how short our news doc was today, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's a nice breath of fresh air from the onslaught of GMK interest checks and keyboards that have been coming out lately. Not that it's not cool, but it's nice to have a shorter, kind of more casual news doc every once in a while.
Yeah, it's nice to know that I'm actually going to get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, okay. This is a group buy for solid hardwood artisan keycap cases with UV blocking protection. More on that in a second. So this is kind of just a custom wood case that this guy has designed. I'm going to show a few pictures here for your artisan keycaps, and I'm going to be honest, I think they look pretty freaking awesome. And one thing I noticed that I do like about this is, unlike a lot of previous artisan holders that we've seen, this one holds up to 100 keys.
Yeah,
so many of them.
Big.
Yeah, so many of them these days are like 16 keys, 24 keys, 36 keys, 48 maybe. Like, you don't usually see the 50 line crossed very often, I feel like. And to have an option for 100 artisans in one case, I think is pretty cool for a lot of people out there. Now, to touch on a couple things that I'm going to talk about the price real quick. So, you do have 3 options. You have one for 25 caps, one for 50 caps, and one for 100 caps. And the price is this: $125, $175, and $255. Sorry, $250, respectively, depending on the size that you choose. So if you want that 100 artisan key holder, it's going to run you $250. Does that seem high? I'm not a woodworking specialist. I don't know if this is low or high, but does that seem high?
I think it seems a little high on first glance, but I think what you have to remember is that this is designed for people to put artisans in, which one artisan alone can be, upwards of $100 on average quite easily, and over $500 depending on what you've got, or even $1,000.
That is a bad rationale. Just because what you're putting in the case is more expensive doesn't necessarily mean that the case should be more expensive than it could be worth. In my opinion.
It's not my only rationale, but I think it justifies. I think having expensive things justifies paying more money for a container if it's going to be of high quality. The second thing is that these are going to be significantly more difficult to manufacture than something like the injection push molded artisan cases are, where effectively you've got a mold, you inject some plastic, and then it out pops a fully pre-molded artisan holder. I think that's something else that you have to bear in mind as well. Now, I'm not sure if these are machined by automated CNC machines or if these are hand machines. I couldn't see anywhere where it said specifically what that was like and how their workflow worked. I know they did say they were testing out a few different techniques to see how it worked out best. So I'm interested to see whether that is hand done or whether that's actually completed by automated machinery or however it's done. But that could, if it's been manually done and it's being hand done, then that completely explains why the price is so high, because that's a lot of work to put into these. It's a lot of time to invest to make them. The other side as well is the actual materials that are used as well. So it is hardwood. Wood's not cheap. All this hardwood is quite expensive. And you've also got multiple different types of choice in terms of the window that can go over the top. Now, I know, Brian, you said you wanted to talk about the UV protection as well.
Yeah, so I'm not an expert on the 99% UV protection options. But he does say that the glass and the acrylic options for the window are professional-grade materials used to protect priceless works of art. The prototypes in the picture are just plain acrylic. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So why do you think that people are leaving their artisans in the sun? Is there a reason to have this UV coating, or is this kind of more of a gimmick, do you think?
I think a lot of people want to put their artisans in boxes like this so they can display them and take them to meetups and things like that. And we know that the sun bleaches plastics. That's just one of the things that happens. We've already talked about plastics changing colour over time earlier on. In terms of so I've done a little bit of reading on the actual website that you can buy these from now, because they are for sale right now, guys. You can go and buy them right now if you want to. There is 3 different types of glass that you can get. You can get conservation clear glass, which is 99% UV protection. You can get UV protection acrylic if you don't want glass, or you can actually get museum glass, which has got premium anti-glare coating, but that does add a little bit to the price as well. So those are the 3 different options. I think having something that's museum grade, which clearly, I don't know how you'd prove that it's museum grade, but if that's something that is, a real thing, that's clearly quite impressive, given the fact that museums want to take care and want to protect all of the stuff that they have behind them. Then I can quite easily see, back to my original point when I said if people got hundreds of dollars worth of artisan gear that they want to protect, putting them in something like this that's going to give them that peace of mind. It's a nice hardwood case. They've got that peace of mind around the protection from the UV coatings and all of that kind of stuff. I can completely see why people would be happy to pay this price.
Okay, so maybe the price is justified then. It is a very cool looking product, and there are a lot of options too, which is pretty cool. You got 3 different sizes. You have 3 different options for your window type, and then you have 5 different finishing options for your wood. And you know how much I love finishing options for my wood, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that you can have bare wood, because bare wood feels the best, right?
Yes, it does. All right, so bam, there's your presumably very high-end artisan collection holder. And the fact that you get it 100, I really do appreciate that quite a bit, because a lot of those collectors out there, man, people with those nuts collections have tons of artisans.
Yeah. I don't even know how many I've got. I don't know which one I'd have to buy. I am going to buy one of these because I really like them, but I don't know which size I need to buy. I need to do some counting. I think I'm going to have to buy the 100 one, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm more or less out of the artisan game these days, as Sushi has pointed out in chat. So I still have a handful of artisans that kind of have a lot more emotional value to me more than anything else.
Sure.
But yeah, for a lot of people, this could be a really good option. Get your museum grade glass on, guys.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm pricing up now. Bledin says I've got over 30 Kipuras. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the sculpt I've got the most of in my collection either. So I think there's a sculpt that I've got more of. So I think I'm going to have to go for the 100. I think I'm going to have to.
Talisman says, I want to see Brian build an artisan display case on stream during the 24-hour stream. I don't think you want to see me doing woodwork. I'm not very good at a lot of things in life, guys.
I heard you were really good at working with bare wood, so...
Well, it wouldn't be my first time. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, this is a limited run, guys. Each size is going to have a cap of 25 units for this run, so 75 units total, split across 3 different sizes. So, if you want one of these, they could go pretty fast, so jump on it while you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Go nuts, guys. Have a look at that. Okay, so with that finished, that is our news doc for today. That's everything we had prior to the show that we're aware of. So we've talked through everything there. We are going to roll into our sponsor segment in just a moment. But here's a reminder, guys, that straight after our sponsor segment, we are going to be doing a Q&A as we do every week. So if you have got any questions, get them into chat now. Tag us with @TopClack so we can see those messages and we'll get to the questions. But Brian's going to kick us off with our first sponsor of today.
Yep, and that's going to be Zeal Generation over at zealpc.net/TopClack if you'd like to be very kind and use our affiliate link. This is home to the ever so popular Zelio Switch, as well as many other varieties he has in store right now, including the Telios, which are the linear versions, as well as the Xylants, which are the silent tactile, and the Helios, which are the silent linear. He does still have some of the Sicurios and Roselios, which are the pink silent linear options with 2 different spring weights, if that's more your style. But make sure to check those out because they are pretty awesome switches. Jay and I love them. I've been using them a lot lately.
Absolutely.
And It's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff, guys. And if you do want to use our affiliate link, again, it is TopClack. zealpc.net/TopClack will help us out a lot. Doesn't cost you anything extra, of course. Just helps us out. Gives us a bit of a kickback. Helps us move closer to that full-time TopClack goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so moving on to our second sponsor tonight, that is Novel Keys. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is bright and proud, right at the top of the page there. GMK Olive is live right now. So if you are interested in Olivia's second key set, you can pick this up from Novel Keys. Well, you won't get the set just yet, but you can join the group buy right now. There's a couple of options. You can get the base kit and the additional kits, as well as that lovely Rama Artisan that says he, which really sums up the feel of the set from the Olivia perspective for me. So it's just really fitting of her personality as well. If that's not your kind of thing and you prefer SA keycaps, SA Fluffy Cloud is still open, so you can actually go and have a look at that and buy that if you want a Ortho Linear or Ergo set. So that's got some white and blue keycaps, depending on whether you're looking at the alphas or the mods. It's either blue on white or white on blue. But again, really nice looking set. Also gives you the base kit, and then you can add the Ergo add-on as well if you need that kind of support. Next thing I want to draw your attention to as well is the Yok Panda sticker pack. So this is quite possibly the cutest set of stickers I've ever seen.
It is.
These look absolutely fantastic. They're really cute. I've bought some of these and paid stupid amounts of shipping just to get hold of them before they go out of stock. But these are really nice. They're so super cute. Absolutely fantastic little sticker pack as well. So please do feel free to go and support Mike at Novel Keys if you are interested in any of the items on his store. And if you do want to save a small amount, then you can use the promo code CLACKERS, that's CLACKERS, and that will get you a small a reduction in price as well.
Yep. Next up, we have Kono.store, where you can find lots of Input Club products. Currently, they have... How don't they have it on the front page? Come on, guys. Cat Alpha is actually up for pre-order right now for the round 2, which is pretty cool. A lot of people have been kind of waiting for more of these sets at the market because they've been sold out of other spots as well. So, bam, if you want to get on Cat Alpha, which I highly suggest you do, Cat Profile is super freaking awesome. It'd be cool to see more colorways. Hopefully that'll be coming in the more future, but
soon.
Yeah, soon TM. But if you're cool with just the white on black kind of aesthetic there, or the black on white, sorry, then you can check out this pre-order for the Cat Alpha. Cat Profile, pretty darn awesome. Only costs you $100, not too expensive. The Kira Stealth group buy is also open if you're into the 96 key layout, maybe like a Kira, but you wanted the all metal version instead of the plastic bottom or the plastic ring on top. Then bam, there you go. There's the slightly higher end version if that's more up your alley. SA Granite is also still open. Probably not for a whole lot longer. You can check that out as well, starting at $70 for the base text kit. Not too expensive if you ask me. And this is kind of interesting. The GMK 9's key set is up for pre-order now for the extras. So if maybe you missed out on that set and you feel stupid about it, then bam, now you can pre-order one of your extras, guys.
Fantastic. Okay, moving on to our next sponsor for the night. It is KBDfans. So for those of you that know and love the store, Wait has a number of different offerings that you can pick up if you are interested. First thing I want to draw your attention to, guys, if you're looking for an entry-level kit or a good keyboard in general, Wei probably has something that will suit your needs. He has all sorts of different kits and boards, everything from 40% right the way up to TKL and full size and all sorts of other bits in between. Special attention to the KBD 67 because I built one a couple of weeks ago, and I absolutely love it. I'm using it right now, actually. Lots of great boards for great prices. You know, these are maybe considered entry level into the community, but for bang for buck, these are some of the best boards you can get. Within the community as well. As well as that, also just draw your attention to a couple of the SA keycap sets that he's got on sale at the minute. There's a couple of these going into group buy right now from Max Key. So you've got the Max Key SA KA keycaps, which offer different shades of yellow and blue, if that's your kind of thing. If it's not, then there's also the SA Stars keycap set, which has a nice red and black theme, if that's more up your street.
Yep. Last but not least, we have Dixiemech. You can check out over at dixiemech.com/topclack. That's also an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but helps us out a lot. You can pick up a couple different things there, including some of their mecha products right now. I think he told me he has shirts coming soon, but they're not up quite yet. But you can still get the mecha desk mats if that's more up your alley. And this is kind of interesting. The minimal pre-orders are actually up now, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know why it's not linked right there.
I think he said that they'd sold out, actually.
Really? When I checked earlier, I don't think they were when I checked earlier.
Yeah, he opened up pre-orders earlier on this week, but there was only a limited number of spots, but I think they've all gone. He said there will be more in stock after the group buy ships, so if you are still missing minimal, there will be some more in the near future. But the next big thing that he's arranging as well is right at the top of the screen there, Brian, SA Bliss from the 1st of July.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we have covered that interest check before, so once that moves to group buy, we'll check it out again once the Dixiemech does post it. It's a very nice, kind of subtle-looking kind of set for SA, which I do like a lot. So yeah, make sure to check that out. And again, use that affiliate link if you guys are cool with that, dixiemech.com/topclack. Alright guys, let's get back to some questions and start our Q&A.
Just scrolling back through the chat. Talisman Solution said, how large is Brian's artisan collection?
I mean, I guess technically I probably have like 15 or 20 artisans.
Okay,
but
that's respectable.
Well, but I mean, I don't. If I'm being honest, I don't really care about like 5 of them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I have like the only things I really cared about is like I got an Earl from Binge at a meetup once when he first put out the Earl sculpt. The 2017 Seattle meetup, Booper gave me a Seattle colorway key walk.
Oh, nice.
Which was super awesome, so I still have that. And at the 2017 meetup for NorCal, Gaff gave me a Sharkbait Garbopus.
Good sculpt. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so nice. I had all those, and crap, I'm forgetting one more. But yeah, a lot of like really high profile artisans that have just been given to me for free by the designers themselves. So like that, to me, that's kind of like an emotional thing. So I don't part with those. Like that's just those stay with me, even though I didn't kind of leave the artisan community. Like I still just keep those.
So that sentimental value in them, I completely understand.
Yeah, and they're great caps too. Like these guys do amazing work. I can't afford to be part of artisans and keyboards. So for the sake of Top Clack, I picked keyboards.
Fair enough. That's fair. I think I saw some of them actually on Instagram on your TMO50 post. I think there was some of the caps you described there on that board. So yeah, really nice from memory. Yeah. Okay. Next one was from Bledin. It says, if you want to give everyone who's watching a huge thank you from myself and Satanicist if they joined the Reign, then feel free. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's a huge thank you from a couple of EU folks who ran the Reign group by saying thank you very much for the support. So well done, everyone, for making them very happy.
All right. Zamus actually forgets to tag us, but he does have a question actually right before that, Jay. He asks, do you push down while soldering PCB mount switches to make them straighter? I definitely have in the past. It kind of depends on if the PCB is warped. Because if the PCB is warped, it can kind of create some inconsistencies among how level everything is. But if the PCB is perfectly straight, I don't usually put a whole lot of pressure on it when I'm soldering, no.
Yeah, I don't put pressure on as well. I think the key for me is making sure that, and if you ever watch my build streams, one of the things I'll check is that all of the switches are in line with the plates. So they're if you plates like that, they're resting and touching onto the PCB correctly. They're not kind of legs are just poking through. I make sure that they're fully pressed in at that point, and then I'll go around and solder. And it might be that I'll push down and I'll solder the corners in first and a couple of switches in the center to hold everything nice and tight, and then I'll go row by row and solder the rest of the switches in. So you don't have to press down all the time, but making sure everything's aligned is important.
Yeah, I mean, if they're in the plate all the way, that means they'll actually be in the keyboard all the way. The PCB isn't quite as picky, but yeah, unless the PCB is warped, I don't really see the need to press down very much on the PCB while soldering. If they are warped, sometimes what I'll do is I'll solder in an anchor switch, like maybe in the middle or on one side or whatever side wherever the PCB is straighter, and then I will press down on the other edge, solder a switch on that edge. That way, that solder joint will actually hold the PCB straight. And you can kind of solder wherever you want without having to put any additional pressure on the PCB. If you're having to put pressure on the entire PCB the entire time you're soldering, something's probably wrong with the PCB. It's probably beyond some kind of help.
Yeah. Just before we move on to the next question, I want to call out two things. At some point during the show, we've missed it, but Talisman Solution has donated that 1 bit and hit the 100,000
The
mark.
1 bit.
The 1 bit is 100,000 mark. So I'm sorry if we missed that, Talisman, when you actually did it, but I can see it there right at the top of the screen. 100,000 bits. Thank you very much, dude. Your support is genuinely appreciated, more than we could ever tell you. That's really, really cool to see. So thank you very much for that, dude.
The color of his number changed too.
It does. It's gone golden. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you very much, Talisman. Cheers to you.
Yeah. I found where he did it as well. He says, I love Top Clack. Goodbye 75k badge, 1 bit. Wow. Thank you, man. Genuinely appreciate that. That is absolutely fantastic. And then he does go on to say, no thanks to Top Clack for great programming and great viewers and participants. We love our community, so thank you very much, guys. That means the world to us to see that. Pilot XJ as well, just give a shout out, gifted 5 tier 1 subs. So quite a few users got a free sub from that, so thank you very much, dude. We appreciate that, and well done everyone for getting a free sub. And El Pepe21 subscribed with Twitch Prime for 3 months as well, so thank you for that, dude.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that. Getting back to the Q&A, Ray says, check my DMs for floof. I'll do that later. Llama Fama is asking, do you know of any good 60% hot swap PCBs? There are actually quite a few on the market these days. So you have Upas over at Canon Keys has the Instant 60. Yep, that's a relatively inexpensive one. Over at KBDfans, they have the KBDfans 6X and 6X RGB. Those are both pretty inexpensive as well. There's also the HS60. That's not in stock anywhere. It's a little bit harder to find and probably a little bit more expensive, but that does have RGB lighting if that's more your thing. Instant 60 is probably the go-to right now, I think, if those are still in stock.
That's fair. Yeah, I think if the Instant 60 is in stock, that's probably the right one for the bunch, unless RGB is really important to you, and then it would be trying to find the HS60, but you're probably going to struggle to do that at the minute. But yeah, I think you're right on that front. Yeah. Next question. Tyler Durden saying, can we see that Kipura collection flex? Hold on, let me grab them. I've got some on a macro pad. There's a few of them here. Yeah, so there we go. The rest are in a drawer, but there you go. There's quite a few of them, and there's another one here. And then I've got some other ones as well, yeah. I think I've got about 30, 35, something like that.
You're a madman.
Maybe. I've been called worse.
Yeah, me too. Alright, Himps is asking, cheap 60% Bluetooth PCBs? There's only a couple that I can think of at KBDfans, and I think one of them doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, there's not many about.
They have the DD Milli, I think it's called.
Just gonna have a look.
I think that's the 60% Bluetooth. It's either the DD Milli or the DD Micro, but I think it's the DD Milli is the 60% version that is Bluetooth. They also used to have the YD something or other that was also a 60% Bluetooth. I don't think they stock that anymore. They're tough to find. There aren't many, and they're not easy to find. Maybe someone else in chat
I can't find one in there.
Maybe someone else in chat knows something that we don't.
I can't see anything in stock for a 60% on KBDfans at the minute that's Bluetooth.
Okay, yeah, so people in chat are saying DD Milli has been out of stock for a long time, and the YD60 BLE, which was what I would have recommended, has also been out of stock for an even longer amount of time. So I think right now it's very hard to find one. You might be able to pick one up on the aftermarket if you're lucky, but aside from that, I don't think there's really an option.
Yeah, I think there might be something on Taobao in some of the cheaper PCBs on there, but Bluetooth isn't really in demand in the community at the minute, so it's not something that tends to typically take precedence over other options.
Yeah. Okay.
Llama Farmer says, where would be the best place to make a custom keycap set with custom legends and stuff? There's a couple of options. It depends on what you want to do, really. If you want to just come up with some renders, then you can use keycaprenders.com, which is run by Pingu from the EU community. He offers a render service where you can put in the colors that you'd like, and it will spit out renders via email, which is quite good and quite useful. And please do think of donating to him if you want to do that, because he runs that service for free. So I'm sure any donations will be welcome. Or if you want to do it a little bit more simply and come up with your own layouts and things like that, you can use KLE as well, Keyboard Layout Editor. You're able to find that with a quick Google. You can change all of the Pantones and hex codes and select GMK and SP stock colors and change legends and sub-legends and all sorts of stuff on that as well if you want to.
Yeah. Nebulid asking, what modern Switch do you think would be best in a vintage homage build? Plateless tray mount. Plateless tray mount. Well, I mean, you can always just go with the classic, with MX Black. I think that's probably a little expected, though, so I'm not actually going to suggest that.
I would suggest a clicky. Lots of vintage boards had blues in. I would suggest a clicky, just to pay vintage.
Yeah, but MX blues suck, though. That's the problem. They
do, so I wouldn't pick the MX Blue, and what I'd probably pick if I was going to pick anything would be something like a Jade or a Box Navy or something like that. That's what I was sacrilege.
No. I think you're on the right track. I think a Kale Box Clicky is the right answer here. Whether it's whites,
probably.
pale blues, navies, or jades, or pinks. I think any of those...
Pinks, yeah, I forgot about the pinks,
I think any of those are the right choice here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jades or pinks. It'd be one of those two for me. I forgot about the box pinks. I need to do a build with them, actually.
I have some of my M60 right now, and I really like them. I think they're really good.
Yeah, I've been playing with them in my key switch tester, and I really enjoyed them. So I do need to do a build with them at some point.
Yeah, I feel like the box switches never really took off.
Oh, he did say plateless, so he says no PCB mount. No.
Oh, you're right.
You can do it. You can do it.
You just have to correct the orientation of each switch individually yourself.
Yes. So go in, solder one leg in. Yeah, solder one leg in for every single switch, put your keycaps on, and then go through and tweak each one until it's perfect, and then solder all your second legs. That's the way to do it. It's time consuming, but if you're going to do it, I think Brian and I would agree that they're the right switches to use.
Yeah. Oh, he does follow up and say, I would use those, but they are my favorite switch, and I already have them in 4 builds. Okay.
That's all right. That's fine.
Now you'll have them in 5 builds. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. That's fine. They're your favorite switch.
We can't cheap out on this show. We have to find another solution here. Okay, so it has to be a PCB mount switch, vintage blacks, or retooled MX blacks or something. A little redundant. Little extended.
Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit off piste here. I'm gonna say a Gateron black, but with a milky top to replicate the look of Nixie's. Give it that kind of milky top feel because that sounds a little bit nicer. I would go with Gap blacks with milky tops. That's my pick if you want a PCB mount.
Okay, that could work as well.
And if you want to go the whole hog. If you want to go the whole hog, you could even get some diodes, clip the legs off them, and drop them in the front of the switch if you're not going to use LEDs, because that's how the Nixies had them. They got the diodes inside the switch. So you could even do that and make fake Nixies fixes, if you will. You could even do that, and you could go the whole hog with it.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's probably the right answer. I mean, depending on the color of your case, you might have other options as well. But I mean, the blacks with milky tops that's a pretty safe bet because that matches most things. Okay, that's fair. But that was actually the most recent question too.
Oh wow, they're going. Talisman says, sounds like Jay wants to help you with the build. I'd love to help him with that. I'd love to do my actual Nixies, putting the diodes back in and all that, so it was great. Kakan saying, do the alphas with Nixies and the rest in high-res oranges. I actually did both Nixie and high-res builds on my old build streams before I joined Top Clack. So, yeah, I would advise not doing the high-res ones because they're lovely switches once they're clean and they're lubed, but they're a pain to get clean.
It's not high-res, Jay. It's a Japanese word.
Oh, yeah, Hirose. I don't know how you say it. I'm just...
Hirose.
Yeah, all right, okay, fine. Next you'll be telling me it's not Nixies and I should say it in German accent, but
it's Nike size.
Nike size. Right, okay. Yeah.
I just like to bash on EJ.
I'm not going down that road. I'm not going down that road. Nebula does say, though, he goes on to say, we'll have keycaps made in the UK from Devlin. Devlin isn't actually too far away from me. The manufacturer isn't too far away from me, and I have been and visited them once. And I went around the factory with them. They showed me how they do their double shot molding and all sorts of stuff like that. But they categorically told me pretty much at the end of it that they've got no interest in increasing the amount of keycaps that they produce. What they do now is what they want to do. They wanted to increase prices significantly for doing things for custom markets and stuff like that. And in the end, what I wanted to do with them and work on didn't hash out. I couldn't come to any sort of financial deal with them that would make any kind of fiscal sense in this community, which is a shame because their keycaps are some of the thickest and toughest keycaps I've ever seen, and they are really good. But if you don't want something that they already make, then they aren't interested, basically. Just a shame.
All right, guys, we'll do one final call on questions. So if you guys have questions, make sure you ask them now. Use the @TopClack tag. Otherwise, we're gonna get out of here and call it an early show, I guess, because our news doc was short today.
I'm gonna get plenty of sleep tonight.
In before 100 questions.
No, fine, no, please, no one's going to ask another question. We're not going to get any more questions.
We're gonna get like three more. We're gonna get like 3 more questions.
Mr. Petrov says, "Watch out, Mrs. J." Yeah, she's asleep. She's got an interview in the morning, so I'm not going to wake her up. She's got an interview for a new job, so I'm definitely not waking her up.
IMBURU says, "Love you guys every show, kicking ass and taking names." Thanks, man. He also subbed earlier, which I did see, but I think we missed a call out. So thank you very much for the sub as well.
Yeah, if we did miss anyone's subs, we genuinely appreciate all of them. We love you all, guys. Thank you very much for all the support you show us. It genuinely does make our week when we see you guys and we get to interact with you like this.
Absolutely. So once again, guys, last call on questions for today.
Yeah, and just while we're waiting for one last question to come through, just to recap, Brian's doing a build stream tomorrow of a number one revision one. I think he said it was. It's
number one revision one.
Yeah. So you're doing that tomorrow night on stream. There'll be no build stream from me on Sunday. As I say, I will be away for the weekend. I'm going to go spend it with the wife's parents, so that'll be nice and fun. But I will be back the week after with a build stream. But I haven't decided what I'm going to build yet, so we'll talk about that next week on stream once I've decided. Yeah. What switches are you putting in that, TKL, by the way?
Whatever he's sending me to put in. I think he told me, but I can't remember. I think they were Holy Pandas, or some variation of Holy Panda.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I did. I actually already opened up the package to make sure everything was all right. It's very nice. It's the navy and silver combination, which I thought was pretty awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I do want to see that. I do want to see it.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun stream.
Yeah, Mr. Petrov was showing pictures of his earlier on, and I genuinely think it's one of the nicer boards of the past year. I know that...
he won one at KeyCon, didn't he? Was that him? Or did someone else
I think he won in the raffle to buy one. I think the only one...
okay.
Olivia won the free board. He won the opportunity to buy a raffle, yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think it was on the re-raffle. I think someone didn't pay or didn't have the money or something like that, and then it got re-raffled and Mr. Petrov won. I think it was something like that. I think so.
Oh, I see. Olivia won the free raffle. Wow.
She did, yes. Yeah. She got the free board, yeah.
That's pretty funny. She probably would have already bought one anyways.
I think she already had one from the original round.
I'm sure she did. Olivia owns like every board ever. She just joins every group buy, I think.
Yeah, I think she does, yeah.
She's really good at keyboards.
She's good at spending money, I'll tell you that for nothing, yeah.
I wish I was that good at spending money.
She forces Max West Foxtrot from Cable Car Designs to make everything in rose gold for her as well now. So she like myself and Chris Wise do, we support Max and buy most of his boards and products and things, and she does as well. But she makes her one in rose gold every single time, even if no one else wants it. There has to be one rose gold one, and she doesn't mind paying for that. That's absolutely all on her, which is fantastic. So yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Starstone won a spot as well, so congratulations, Starstone. Congratulations, man.
I want one.
I do too. I've got dibs on Nebulance if he ever decides to sell it, but he isn't. So yeah, I do have a line on one, but that's about as far as I've got.
Yeah, I would settle, quote unquote, for the TKL, but I would really like a number 160. I really want the 60% version. I would also settle for the 65 version, but
Sure.
the 60 version, it's got me feeling some type of way.
Yeah, yeah. I've built the TKL, the 60 and the 65. I haven't built a number 2 yet, but I've built the others. Of the 3, the TKL was my favorite. But they're all beautiful boards. They're all beautiful boards.
Petrov says, "Run, Brian, like a bear chasing you." That's right. That's right. If you have a number 160, I'm chasing you guys down.
Yeah.
Gloobazoid
Be
says,
prepared to do it.
Gloobazoid says, "Damn, I missed the show."
Oh well.
Yeah,
you can watch it on the catch up. You can watch it on the VOD, dude.
Yeah, it's this. I mean, we're kind of just rolling like a little after show right now, kind of, since there's no more questions, and we had a really short show today, so.
Yeah, we're just rolling with it. Rolling with it. Pilot says, "I'd like to be hit with a key cult or a TGR. I would feel lucky." Well, I mean, man, if you want to come around, I can hit you with a TGR board. That's not a problem. We can do that, but you ain't gonna get to keep it. But you'll feel it. You'll definitely feel it.
Yeah, you'll probably go to jail for assault.
If he asks me to do it, is that really assault?
I don't know. I'm not too versed in the laws around that, honestly. It's a good question. I can hit you with the Kepler. The Kepler is way heavier.
Yeah, there you go. Consensual assault. Yeah, exactly. Is that assault? I don't know if it is.
We need to veer away from this topic real quick, guys.
We do. Yeah, we do.
This is gonna get us in trouble. Oh man. Well, I guess if nobody has any more questions, we can kind of just roll out here. Call it like an hour and a half show. Pretty simple, short and sweet today, guys. All right, so thank you guys all very much for coming and hanging out with us and watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as we did. Links below the stream for our YouTube channel, as well as our official Discord server. If you're not there already, you can come hang out with us and have a good time, play games, talk about keyboards, or anything else. We have channels for everyone there, don't worry. And, yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, we'll see you later. See ya.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Build stream tomorrow, around 5 or 6 Pacific time, PM. That'll be up in the Discord. You'll see it if you're in the Discord. Join the Discord! Yarr! Also, cheers.
See you guys.